Hello and welcome to another episode of Chit Chat and All That with me, Amanda Prowse.
And me, Penny Dommett. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Chit Chat and All That around this kitchen table.
Oh, it's a shame it's not a round kitchen table, isn't it? It's actually a rectangular kitchen table. Quite like a round one.
Yeah, the trouble is you're too far away from everyone.
Good point.
Unless
What, you get
it's
a small one?
small one.
Just you and I.
Yeah, but then you'd be knocking knees under the table.
Wouldn't be a bad thing, Penny.
Yeah.
Although we'd have to find somewhere else to eat. I must just fill you in, dear listener, on, as you know, Penny and I, neither of us are mathematicians. Is that fair to say, Pen?
I think that's a very, very good point.
We're more adept at the sort of creative arts, would you say?
Linguistic ability.
Yes. Gardening, writing, prettivating. Is that a word? When you make things pretty. Prettifying. God, I'm no good with words, honestly.
No.
Yeah, we're much better at that. And just as a case in point, to show our lack of medical knowledge, Penny arrived this morning and she said, I've got a bit of a pain in my back. And I said, show me where. So she pulled up her jacket and she went, about here. And I said, what is that? Is that your kidneys? She went, I don't know. And I said, maybe it's your lungs. Yeah, maybe it's my lungs. And we've gone from kidneys to lungs to goodness. And it's just making me laugh that we don't know.
I know, we're really bad. Mind you, we're as bad with geography.
My geography, honestly.
I know. Geography I'm worse at, probably.
It's awful. I get really embarrassed. And when people say, I go, lovely. And they go, have you been? I go, no. Because I just think it must be lovely and I don't know what else to say.
But if I said to you, a place in the UK, for example, somewhere like, I don't know, Bradford.
Yeah.
Would you have a vague idea where it is?
Yes, I would, because I've been to Bradford. I love Bradford because I am a huge fan of Sir Titus Salt.
Pray tell more. Who is Titus Salt?
He was the most amazing man, and he sort of created, I think it's called Saltaire. I think the place is called Saltaire. I haven't been for decades, but it's beautiful. It's like a preserved factory workers' cottages, and a bit like, when you go to Bourneville or some of these, it's like that. But he was an incredible philanthropist, I believe. And I don't think anything has come to light that he wasn't such a great person, but as far as I'm aware, he was a goodie.
So Titus Salt.
Sir Titus Salt, Titus.
So where did he get his money from to give away?
I think it was industry, but I'm actually not sure. I'm going to check. But there's a graveyard at Saltaire, which as you know, I love a graveyard.
Yes.
I really do. I love the names. I love the stories, the histories. Particularly, what fascinates me is that it has the date of someone's birth and death, and it's that tiny little squiggle that just represents their life. That tiny little mark. That's all we really leave on the world, isn't it? That little mark. And I love them. I love looking at the length someone lived, and sometimes it says what they died of and who they've been buried with. I just think it's fantastic. And obviously they're all old graves. There aren't many new ones there at the moment. Not there anyway. And I just think it's a brilliant little snapshot of our social history. I spent many, many hours in that graveyard, and I can just remember looking at all these people who had lived in this environment and worked there. And then you've been in their houses and you've seen where they worked, and it's just amazing. But he built schools, that kind of thing. A bit like who is the guy? Oh, it's gone up my head now. It will come to me.
From Bristol?
No. From Port Sunlight. Who was that? What family was that? Up in Liverpool. Also incredible. Have you not been to Port? Oh, Penny, you'd love it.
I've never been anywhere. I don't go out of the postcode, remember?
That's true. So Bradford, Liverpool, I'm all right with. But also I lived up in North Yorkshire, didn't I, for a while? So I kind of explored around there a bit. But there are areas I just don't know at all, like East Anglia. Like Norfolk and Sussex.
We used to go to Felixstowe.
Oh, yeah.
To visit relatives. And that was always really lovely.
So interestingly, my ancestors were from Felixstowe.
Really?
Yes. It will be my great-great-grandfather, I think, was a chemist. And he was a friend of Jessie Boots, who opened Boots. And he opened...
Is that why it's called Boots?
Yes.
That's
Jessie Boots. And he was manager of Boots'...
I thought it was Fill Your Boots.
With my drugs. He opened the chemist. His chemist was the one in Felixstowe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
And then his son were also all chemists.
And all Boots?
They all worked for Boots, all of them. And even my great aunt, my granddad's sister, she also worked for Boots. Yeah, I know, it's quite amazing. I had to go up to Boots head office, which is in Nottingham, ages ago in a former life when I worked in data analytics. Interesting, yes, I know. Data analytics, there we go.
That would be interesting. You see, I would find that fascinating.
It's because you're nosy and you love a spreadsheet.
I love a spreadsheet. I love statistics.
Pen?
I love statistics.
Yeah, you do. You're always asking me for statistics.
I am. I really like
and
them.
I say 34, 24, 36.
I mean, I love to know why people buy certain things and how many books are sold that are to do with this and how many, what type of person. I really love statistics. I think it tells us so much about life in general.
Yeah, but you know that 87.4% of all statistics are made up on the spot.
Are you joking?
That's too easy, Pen.
It was the 0.4 that got me.
I know, I should have gone with a round number. Damn it. I'll know for next time, because you'd have forgotten that next week.
Damn it, Dommett.
So I can do it again.
I know. I see.
But it is
At what
interesting.
point do you start worrying that you're beginning to forget things?
If I was you, 3 weeks ago.
I can't remember what I was doing 3 weeks ago.
Sometimes people, but you see, it's weird. So I think that we all worry about aging. We all worry about Alzheimer's. We all worry, because it's like the biggest fear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Losing your marbles is a very scary thing. Oh, no shit, Mandy, but it is. And I think we all sort of worry about it. But then there is also that natural, denigration. What's the word? Degeneration. Denigration
is a whole
Ignore
thing.
me. There's a whole, it's a natural degeneration of brain function and motor skills as you get older. I mean, it doesn't have to be drastic, but it does, doesn't it? It declines. And even though, I still think I'm very young, and I'm hurtling towards 60, and that's fine. But I noticed that things I could do very easily at 50, 55 even, are not quite as easy as they were. So I'm mindful of it, and I'm mindful of keeping myself oiled and moving. Motion is the lotion, as they say. But when it comes to your brain, you just say, what can I do? Should I be doing a pub? Well, they say that, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
And there's all these studies that say it might be something to do with diet, or we just don't know.
No.
Do you remember there being, huge swathes of the population with Alzheimer's and dementia and things when you were young?
No, because I probably wasn't sort of listening.
But I don't remember. Did you say you weren't listening? I didn't actually start listening to anything until I was 34. I thought, no, I'm just not going to listen. I'm not going to listen to anything. History, lessons, maths, worldwide, geography, directions, timekeeping. I'm just not going to listen.
I think as well, different things that are a big part of your life when you're younger. So, for example, if you had grandparents that had Alzheimer's, then that becomes a major worry in your mind, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Unfortunately, our family seems to be riddled with cancer in different areas. A friend of mine has spent her life worrying since she was 35 about heart attacks because her brother died of a heart attack. So I think it depends on...
I think that's almost more trauma, isn't it? That's the trauma that's lingering in her, that she's panicked about that. I get it. I do get it. But as soon as Simon died, and it was obviously his heart stopped, so everyone dies, right? I think, isn't it? Doesn't everyone's heart just stop?
Not always, I don't think that necessarily...
Can't carry on, can it?
Well, yeah, but they can keep you alive, can't they?
No, I suppose so. I mean...
Isn't it your brain...
Pen, this is a perfect example we were talking about only minutes ago about lack of medical knowledge, as if we needed something to prove it. There we go. Someone medical, let us know. What happens when you die? I mean, we know vaguely that you just stop, but it was a massive panic for me, and the first thing I did was go and get my heart checked. And obviously I was very overweight when Simon died. And it was and they said, look, the best thing you can do is lose weight. That is probably the biggest factor influencing your personal health right now, is that you are morbidly obese. Yeah. And from that morbid obesity comes so many other branches. It's heart, diabetes, blah, 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 stroke risk, all of that. And I thought, you know what, that's the one thing I can do. I can do that.
But then the good thing is you don't smoke.
No.
You don't drink.
No. What do you do?
You do eat fairly healthily.
I do now.
So
I swear a lot as well. That's good for me.
So, the chances are you've done all of those things.
Well, do you know what, Pen? I feel I'm doing all I can.
Yeah.
And actually you can't worry about it. Otherwise you just drive yourself fit.
For me, I feel at least if you get to the pearly gates thinking that you did everything pretty much that you could have done, then that's fine. You don't want to live to regret,
no,
do
you don't. But also, it's that balance, isn't it? You've got to have a nice time. You've got to do what makes you happy. Otherwise, it's a miserable existence. When I see some people, and hats off to them, they're incredibly disciplined, who live off lentils, brown rice, they're cold water dipping, and they are exercising, and they're going to cave yoga, and they're getting their reflexology. The type I'm talking about, Pen? Yeah. It's you. I think that's really admirable, but wouldn't make me happy.
No.
So for me, it's about a balance, and it's about a percentage. So 90% of the time, I eat incredibly healthily, but then I'll have an ice cream.
But don't you think, again, it's about weighing things up?
Yeah.
And if making you happy is going to actually do good things for your heart, then that's better than being miserable all the time because you're on a 300 calorie a day diet.
Yeah, and your mental health, I mean, is so, we now know, don't we? Didn't we pay attention to it?
They say stress is the biggest killer of
I believe
everything.
it. I think worry and stress.
Yeah.
If you've got something to worry about, it's so debilitating.
You need to touch something green, that's what I say.
You do. Get your hands in something green, but not necessarily a pickle. We've had this chat. But I think you're right. I mean, yeah. And it's hard to get motivated, isn't it, when the weather's like this and it's all getting a bit wintry and all a bit grim.
Yeah, I'm not, I've told you before, I'm not a wintry person.
No.
I don't like it as the nights draw in. And,
it's my favourite.
Oh, I hate it. I mean, the only good thing is being able to sit in front of the fire and not have to go out.
Yeah. Not having to talk to people.
Yeah.
Not having to put me,
But you see, the rest of the family are getting a bit cross with me now because I will turn into that reclusive dog woman.
What do you mean turn into?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think you got there a little while ago, love.
Because why put yourself out there if you don't have to?
Yeah. I don't know. I think talking about getting older and, Alzheimer's and all the things that maybe, help our decline, I think being social, talking to people.
Right.
People that go to the shops who have positive interaction with someone every day, whether it's in the post office or buying a pint of milk, I'm sure it does something to their lifespan, their happiness, their enjoyment, their fulfillment. And I think loneliness is so underrated as a really chronic thing.
I think it must be such a terrible thing to feel real loneliness and not have anyone.
Do you ever feel lonely, Ben?
I don't think I do really.
No.
But then I am a very lucky person from the point of view of I do like my own company.
Yeah.
But then I am also very lucky in the fact that I don't have to be on my own.
No, it's true.
If you were someone that had no family locally, you didn't really have any friends, you had a mobility problem, you couldn't get out, I can't imagine how that would grind you down.
It takes superhuman strength, doesn't it? You can understand why that leads to depression. It's just almost a no-brainer.
I can really understand that.
I have times of loneliness.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I really do. And it's not always when I'm on my own, ridiculously.
What do you do to stop it then?
Well, I don't know. I'm a bit, why am I? But I'm a bit embarrassed to say this. I don't know why I'm embarrassed, because being lonely for me almost feels something I should be a little bit ashamed of, because you're supposed to be gregarious, fun, popular, and have this constant, turntable of life and fun activity and people. And very often I don't. I don't see anyone. And if Simeon's away, working away, which he does quite a lot, and the boys obviously have left home, I get a moment where I think I'm actually quite lonely. I just want to talk to someone, just like to have a cup of tea with someone. I'd just like someone to check in on me. And you do, you're brilliant. And obviously my mum does, she's brilliant, and my friends do. But
I always know when you go quiet. And then I'm texting you and you don't reply, and I think, shall I just ring you?
Yeah, just come over.
Yeah.
I think just come over, because it means I've gone into my shell a bit. And I do that. And I find those moments a bit, I won't say I'm depressed. I don't think I've ever been depressed, actually. Lucky for me, I don't have that illness. But I do have low moments. And I feel like I've got nothing to offer and nothing to say. And
Which is really crazy when you think we've done 6 months of podcasts and you haven't shut up.
Hello, kettle. I know, but it is weird, isn't it? And actually, sometimes, I don't know, I think writing is such a, we've already spoken about this.
It's very isolating, isn't it?
And I do something and I'll write something and I think, that's really good. And I'll shut it down. And who can I talk to? Tell no one. There's no one. Yeah, but you're busy too, and I get it. But there's no one here. There's not like, when you used to work in an office or you were in a group and it was like laughing with your mates and sending silly notes, because we didn't have phones in those days, I'd have been texting constantly, and going out for lunch together and going for a walk around the block, or, anyone that smoked was always outside. And
well, we sort of have a similar problem when you grow flowers and you have anything to do with horticulture, gardens. It is a very solitary business, really, nearly always, because the chances are you're not able to afford to have 5 people working on a small flower farm. But there is this great organisation called Flowers from the Farm. And
you've told us, they sound wonderful, Pam.
But from a point of view of supportive community, It's great. Even just the Facebook forum, that sort of thing. That, funnily enough, I was looking on it this morning, and a lot of people have had trouble this year because of slugs, and there's been general growing problems because of the weather. And for them to be able to go on there and go, do you know what? I'm really fed up. This weather has really been a trial. And then it's ping, 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 ping. And you've got all these other people going, I'm in exactly the same boat. Yeah. I know just how you feel. This has been a disaster. And being able to, we occasionally get together in local groups.
That's nice.
Yeah, and they'll come round and have a wander about, and they'll say, oh my gosh, that's a brilliant idea. Why did you do that? And how can I do this? And I'm going to go away and do something else. And then new members as well can come on, and you can give them some advice and say, definitely don't grow that, and don't waste your time over this. And
I remember you saying way back a few episodes, one of our first episodes, you were saying that flowers on the farm, you can find out where a local grower is and they will deliver you a flower or get you flowers. You can collect them. Was that right? I can't remember.
It's like a sort of British local flowers interflora.
Love it.
So you go on the website, which is flowersfromthefarm.co.uk, and it gives you a map, and all the local growers are marked on the map. So if you lived in Scotland and you wanted to give some flowers to your auntie in Scotland, you click on the nearest flower farm to where she lives, and you ask if they'll deliver a bouquet. You pay them directly. They trot down the road with a bunch of flowers to your auntie.
Fantastic.
And it's a slightly more sustainable way than ordering flowers that come from,
I love supporting
Colombia.
businesses in that way. And I'm guessing, I don't want to generalise, is it a largely women-owned business, or is it
I
mixture?
think it is I don't think it's mainly women, but I think there is a higher proportion of women. But there's some really brilliant growers out there.
Yeah, fantastic.
And it really offers a bit of community support.
Yeah,
that's my
wonderful.
point. Is it for people who are starting out? And it can be lonely.
And also, how different to get something different, like a wild bouquet or whatever, that isn't something that's really, that you're picking a picture from a catalogue. I love that idea.
They would have been picked 7 hours before.
Amazing.
And delivered fresh as you like.
Yeah.
I get contacted fairly regularly to deliver stuff locally.
That's so nice.
Yeah,
nice. You see, I feel very the same about the book community, the online book community. Yeah, my book talk friends and, people online, they've actually become friends. Many of them listening right now. Hello, Trish. Hello, Chris Perkins. Chris Perkins. She is absolutely hilarious.
Well, and she messages us so regularly.
Do you know what's funny?
I love it.
Penny, she listens. What Chris does is, I'm guessing, she listens to the episode and she answers us as we raise a question. So if anyone says, do you have happy pants? She goes on and goes, oh, hi, Penny and Mandy, I've got happy pants. It makes me howl because it's exactly what we love. It's having a conversation with Chris, even though we're here in different time zones and she's over in Wales. Not because Wales is a different time zone.
I don't think they're
She's not that far away. But it's obviously, we've recorded it and then she's listening to it. I find it absolutely hilarious. And she sends me suggestions and ideas and I love it. We've got lots of listeners like that and millions of them. Millions, I lied. Hundreds, Pen. It's not millions. One day, Pen, eh?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. But I love it. And they message me, they text me, and I feel, they're my friends. And that makes me feel less lonely.
Don't you think as well it's the common ground? It's if you walked into a room of people that you didn't know what they did, you didn't know what their likes and dislikes were, you've got to get through all of that initial stuff before you find something that you are talking about together.
Yes.
Whereas when you go and talk to people about books, you all know that you've got that common link, same as with gardens and flowers. It's that common link that gets you talking.
Absolutely.
I can go to Chelsea Flower Show and be standing in a queue and talk to the person behind me about a particular flower, even though I've never met them before.
To be honest though, Pen, I think you do that in Tesco.
I do.
I think you do that wherever you're in a queue.
People don't want to know.
They don't. They go,
don't want to know.
Lovely.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, lovely,
Yes.
lovely. No, I think you do. Phones, talking of phones and messages, do you have a landline? I'm not asking you to give your number out. Her number is...
Well, it's funny you should mention that. We were only discussing this week. We have got a landline, good old BT.
Yeah.
But there are 2 people that ring the landline, both elderly, and they don't like using the mobile.
That's good. You could know to ignore it.
Yeah. Well, seriously, the phone rings. I know who it'll be.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm guessing if she ever couldn't get me on the landline, she will call me on the mobile.
Yeah.
Not very keen.
No.
Not very keen to use it.
No.
But I'm thinking we're going to have our, what do you call it, disconnect.
Because you don't want to hear from these people.
Well, no. Just because you pay us quite a lot of money for a rental of
You used to
equipment.
have to have one, didn't you? You used to have a BT line before you could get a Tinternet line and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the case anymore, not with fibre optic doodars.
No.
Technical.
So I think no medical, no technical, no geography.
Apart from that, we'd be rubbish in a quiz.
Well,
we were
saying that.
We were rubbish in a quiz.
I meant to tell you, I'm organising another quiz. That's why I like being the quizmaster, you see.
Yeah, you're not daft.
I know the answers.
Can I get a sneak preview of a couple of the categories?
Yeah, well, I might let you know.
So that I can revise.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of person I am.
I'm not going to do a whole section on Amanda Prowse books.
I know. I'd probably be bad at that, but not as bad as we were at trying to work out the year Elvis died. That debate still rages.
Yes. So,
phone.
What we're talking about, phone. So I think we're going to have ours disconnected.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when you live in a rural location, you are slightly at the whim of whether or not the wind's in the right direction and your mobile phone works.
We have to have different, I mean, it's ridiculous. We are, like you, quite remote, and we don't have all the cabling underground and doodars that we're supposed to have. So we have a different internet, I don't call it plug-in thing.
Modem.
Yeah, probably. In every room.
Really?
Yeah, so at the moment we're on this one and that one, and as you move, it's just absolutely crackers. Plus, I don't know if it makes a difference, but our walls are very thick. Would that make a difference? Can it not get through?
No, seriously, it does make a difference. But weirdly, in the workshop, which is 5 foot away from the house, it's only made of wood, and yet we get no signal whatsoever.
That's funny.
It's bizarre. Anyway, we have now got a wonderful system. I can be contacted right the way up the top of the garden.
That's lovely. Oh, my garden's great.
It's weird.
I can be in the garden. Sometimes, in fact, we've got a little, what do we call it, pavilion thing up in the middle of the doodah. And I'll go up there if I need to download something. So sometimes people will send me a document and I'm up there in the wind and the rain at 9 at night with my little cagoule on, downloading. I
will always have in my mind the wonderful picture. Joel used to work for Orange when it was at the Mall. Do you remember Orange at the Mall?
I do.
I think he was probably about 16, 17.
I knew that's where I knew him from.
Yes, and he loved working for Orange because, of course, you got the lovely kit, the uniform, but you also got given a mobile phone.
Fantastic.
And Joel used to take a chair up to the very top of the paddock, have to stand on the chair and wave his arm in the air to get a signal. And I will still see him now in his little uniform. Wasn't a very good advert for Orange.
No. Luckily, they are no more. I think they're in France.
Human waving. Yeah.
Bless him.
So we will be getting rid of our phone line. Yeah. Another thing that's happened, book club last night.
Oh, how'd you get on?
Book club last night. Oh, my goodness. The discussion went on for absolutely ages.
What are you reading?
I love it when a book that we have read completely divides us.
Yeah.
And one set of people think this happened.
Oh, you can't even agree on the ending.
No, and one set of people think that happened. And it really was fascinating. I mean, we had it with 2 previous books. We had it with Shutter Island.
Yes.
Where I was the one going,
no spoilers,
no,
but yeah.
It wasn't. No, that didn't
Surely
happen.
not. Is that what you think?
No.
Is that
Well, it was all not real.
Did you, Penny, that's what we call a spoiler.
Oh, sorry.
No spoilers.
For anyone that hasn't read it.
I'm sure everyone's read it or seen the film.
The second book was The Reluctant Fundamentalist.
Oh, yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And again, I thought one thing and the rest of the group thought something else.
I'm seeing a theme, Pen.
Yeah.
So everyone else thought one thing and you thought another.
Well, it wasn't only me.
Okay.
But I love that. I mean, isn't it amazing? I've said this before. You get 10 people all reading those same words and yet they see 10 different versions.
Do you know, it's really weird. So Swimming to Lundy's been up for a couple of months now. And
I'm loving it.
Oh,
Haven't finished it, but I am loving it.
Thank you to everyone who's read it. I've got some amazing reviews. I'm just, as ever, humbled and entirely grateful. And I really love the book. I really like it. And a couple of people have sent me messages going, a husband in the book, Hugo, who's married to Harriet. H&H. I do that a lot, actually. I do a lot of matching doodahs. I've said doodah a lot today.
Yeah.
I need to think of another word for doodah. Thingamajig. And Hugo is a bit of a character. I've had some people send me messages going, oh, Hugo, I hate him. And I thought, really? I never hated him.
No.
I felt sorry for him and I thought he was a bit of a div. But I never hated him. I just thought he was unreliable, a bit of a liar. I didn't like much about him. But that visceral reaction of other people sent me a message going, I feel so sad for Hugo. Look at what he lost. And they're reading the exact same story.
Yeah, I know. See, it's fascinating, isn't it?
Do you think it's based on your personal experience, maybe, how it shades how you view those situations?
Well, we've got this, one of the girls at book club is so wonderful. She's one of the younger ones, and she's a
84.
teacher. And she's a teacher. And I went to book club last night thinking, oh my goodness, I really, really hope that Victoria's going to explain to me what happened in this book because I didn't understand it.
Were you hosting it last night?
No.
What was your snack?
We had Cheryl put on the most amazing spread of sausage rolls and cheese and baked camembert.
Stop it.
Yeah, we had wine. It was lovely. Anyway, we were discussing...
Suddenly it all makes sense.
Yes. The Ferryman, Justin Cronin.
Haven't read it.
And the first half I thought, oh, this is very different. We haven't read a book, futuristic book like this. By the third bit, the third quarter, I was completely lost. I mean, I didn't know what was going on.
Is it the third quarter the end? Oh, no, fourth.
No, the fourth. By the fourth quarter, it was all trying to be reeled back up. And I thought, I just don't understand what's going on.
No.
I couldn't understand it. Which is a shame.
Did you enjoy it, though? What the bits you did get?
It was different. It was very different. I enjoyed the first half. It must be so hard as an author knowing when to stop. Because had he stopped then, I would have probably given it a good solid 8.
Right.
But because he didn't stop then...
Oh, did you mark him down?
Oh, I did. I'm sorry.
10.
He got a 6.
Did he?
Yes. But yeah, it was very interesting. Other people absolutely loved it. There was very differing scores last night.
Yeah, I like that though.
So it was very interesting. We are one of those book clubs that actually do take it quite seriously.
I'm getting that, Pen.
Why read it if you're not going to... what's the point?
I think the cheese is often the point. Cheryl's spread is often the point. Those sausage rolls and that baked camembert, that's what we're talking about.
Anyway, it was lovely.
Yeah.
And talking about a common theme again, you see.
And all together.
Yeah.
Women together in a room, chewing the fat. I bet you strayed onto all sorts of topics, but you had a lovely time.
We did.
And it's that as much as it is as reading a book. And actually, when you're in a book club, if you're reading a book alone, you're not, are you? Even though you're on your own in a room or whatever, you are connected to those other 9 women.
You really are.
I love that. That's
really
real community.
We started it because we thought there were people in the village that we didn't really know very well. And we thought if we had it in the village, then people could walk to each other's
Plus, you won't go
houses.
look inside the houses.
Yeah. And also, it's not out of the county.
Didn't need your passport.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
So, and we've made really good friends with people that we wouldn't sort of meet.
That's lovely.
Because our village is so wide and so spread that we don't have a pub, unfortunately.
No, or you'd definitely be in there every day.
Yes, definitely. We'd probably hold the book club in the pub.
You could, see.
Yeah, we could.
You ever all thought of moving?
Yeah, all together. But we do love it. We've been going a long time. But I keep talking about it. Sorry.
No, it's wonderful. I love your energy for it, and I think it's something we all relate to. And I know that online, I do a lot of work with a company called the Tandem Collective, who are inspirational, phenomenal, powerful, go-getting marketing heroes. I mean, they want to spread the word about books and other things, and they've got a really different way of looking at how to engage readers. And they do quite a lot of read-alongs. A tandem read-along where they send the book to people, you read it, they set you questions, and it's like this online, reading collective, this book club.
Didn't you do this with Swimming to Lundy?
We did it with Swimming to Lundy, and what was so great was to see, I never know whether I should join in those conversations.
So how do you have to read a certain number of pages or a certain chapter?
So literally they will say, right, here's your reading schedule. We'd suggest You read, I don't know, I'm making this up, 3 chapters by, April or whatever. And they will do that. And then they will set a question, then everyone will post their answers and comment on each other's. Oh, I didn't quite see that. Oh, yes, I agree. I love that bit. And often I'm sort of looking at these conversations and I say, thank you so much, because obviously it's amazing that people are investing their time and energy in my books. But also I never know whether I should join in, because I don't want people not to be able to speak freely. But I'm very interested in what they're saying. So I'm sort of feel like a bit of a, hovering in the background, waiting for...
You're a stalker.
I am. Waiting for a seat at the table. But it's actually wonderful. And it is, again, it's exactly as it sounds. It's that collective read. It's that thing that makes you feel part of something.
Yeah. I mean, perhaps we should have a grow along.
That's a good idea.
Perhaps when I start my seeds in October, I'll post that, right, you need to buy some seeds.
That's a really good idea.
And we're going to sow some seeds, or we're going to sow some, or we could do the bulbs. We could do bulbs. Bulbs are easy.
I love that, Pen. I love the idea of doing something like that. I think that's really important. A little gardening club.
Well, and you sort of feel like you're doing it together, like you say about the books.
And then chatting on a little forum. Pen, that's a really good idea.
I think it's because some people, I mean, I know you'd be a bit nervous about buying a bulb and putting it in.
I would.
So if you felt that others were doing it as well, it might not be so scary.
And also, I know it's stupid, but I want advice. I want to know why it's gone wrong. I want to know, is this okay?
Did you notice my last Instagram post about cutting back after you told me?
Yeah.
And I talked about what deadheading was.
Yes. It was really good. And it was quite step by step, and I was able to go, oh, okay. But also understanding why it was important, because I get thinking, I can't be bothered. But now I know why I need to do it.
Yeah.
And I've been looking at my leggy roses for the last few years with like 3 or 4 beautiful, permanently sprouting, flowers on. Thinking, why aren't I getting any more flowers? Well, now I know.
Yeah.
Doing all that. But no, I find it incredibly useful. And I like the way that you deliver it in a way that isn't too scientific, obviously, or too fancy pants.
No, I don't do fancy pants.
No, but it's great.
I do happy pants.
You do. You do happy pants. You absolutely do happy pants. You do happy pants. I hope you don't. I hope you don't happy pants. You do. My pants are going well.
Are they?
I've only worn 5 pairs since we met.
Oh.
8 days ago. I did wear another pair.
Yeah, but were there days when you went, actually, I don't feel like putting happy pants on?
Do you know what, Pen? It's really weird. When you said you wear happy pants, wear pants.
I don't always wear happy pants.
Obviously, I've seen you in a rattlegram.
Yeah.
But it does make you feel good. And I realised the terrible state of my underwear. Maybe once I had that base layer of grot on, whatever you put on top isn't going to feel great.
That's totally it.
And it never occurred to me. I'm a bit slow on the uptake in certain things, but it does make me feel good. It's brilliant. I'm in.
Good. We'll address the rest of you at another junction.
Are we going to the bosom area?
Well, that's a bit difficult because you have to sort of
be at your weight.
Practical.
Yeah.
You see, I think it's really important to wear the right size, the right fit, the things that bras have to be the right type of bra for you, because otherwise it can actually cause damage to seriously. So, I mean, I think the best advice is to go to somewhere where they will do a proper fitting. John Lewis, very good.
I'd laugh though. I'd get the giggles.
No, she was really good. Really, really good. I think as we get older as well, we want to be comfortable, don't we?
To be honest though, Pen, I'm no expert, but I could have chosen a bra for you. Couple of tea bags, just empty them out. On, there you go. Sew them together. Job's a good one.
I just want to be comfortable now. I'm afraid I don't want anything sexy, beautiful, lacy. I want it to be practical.
Rob's listening going, oi. She's been keeping them in a secret drawer. Where will I find that little stash? On that note, Pen, we've come to another lovely episode. It's been really lovely talking to you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can, of course, catch up on all previous episodes from wherever you get your podcasts from. And our new episodes drop every Friday, so let your friends know. Tell us what you think. And you can, of course, send us a message and catch up on our Instagram page, which is
@thechitchatters.
So please, follow us. Please, follow us. Did you hear that? Slip that in.
What?
Whatever. But until next time, take care.
Bye.